The first thing is actually ridiculously important. Probably the most important thing. Actually, everything I say is important. Let's just be real. But this one is just like it's hit home for me more and more as I've aged. They want you to be distracted, bro. They love when you are distracted. They love when you do not understand what's going on because it makes you easy to control. And when I say they, what I mean is the left, the Jays that are controlling our government, the government in general. Like they these people love when you're not paying attention, bro. Because when you are not paying attention, as I just said, you're easy to control. You can be easily manipulated. Things can be taken away from you and you don't even fucking know. You don't even know it's a problem for you. You don't even know what's to come. You don't know what's currently happening. You're just sitting here and acting like, oh, everything is all good. As long as we give your dumbass some cheap entertainment and a place to sleep at night, you're all good. You're satisfied. It's fucking stupid. Because I've said before and I'll say it again, young men are the backbone of any society. The well-being of a young man within your nation will show the health of your nation. If young men are not being treated well, then that means your nation is falling, your nation is collapsing. And for a long time, young men have been completely ignored when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to their physical well-being, their mental well-being. Young men have been completely ostracized. Oh, who gives a fuck about what's going on with young men? We don't give a fuck. Right? This has been because of the left, and then the left controlled government, and the government controlled by the Jays. Right? All these forces have been working against you, and you don't even fucking know. Because they love when you're paying attention to when the next NBA Youngboy concert is, who Young Thug is beefing with, who the Chiefs are playing this weekend, who the Rams are playing this weekend, who the Ravens are playing this weekend, what I Show Speed is doing, who Kai Cenat is talking to, who Drake's beefing with. They love when you guys pay attention to this dumb shit, this entertainment slop. They love this shit. Why? Because it makes you ignorant. It makes you stupid. And let me tell you something very important. A lot of men, and young men especially, they believe they are not in a battle because they're not at war. If you're not enlisted in the military, you just think, oh, I'm not at battle. I'm just here in America doing my own thing. I'm not at war with anything. I'm not in a fight at all. And you're right. From a physical standpoint, yeah, nigga, you're not in a fight. You're not physically fighting anyone. You're not picking up a gun. You're not fighting in war. You're not fighting on behalf of the United States. And for my guys who are watching this that are, I appreciate you. I love men that are in the military. I love my military guys out there. I fought with you boys so fucking much. Right? But for my guys that are, back home on the home front within the nation, you're not a physical combatant, but what you are is a mental one. You're in a mental and psychological war when you're here on the home front. You might not be in a physical battle, but you're in a mental one. People are at war with your mind. They're at war with your mind. Over the past decade, last decade, between I want to say Obama era 2008 to about now, or till recently Trump got elected in 2024, right? What you could and could not say was very controlled. There was the woke fucking mob. They were controlling your speech. Critical of women, banned everywhere. Said somebody's a faggot, banned everywhere. Said somebody's a retard, woke mob. Cancellation, cancel culture. Understand? So what you could and could not say was controlled. Is that not a war to you? You might not be physically fighting anyone, but people over the last decade were saying that you're not allowed to say faggot. You're not allowed to say retard. If you're a white man watching this, you're not allowed to say nigger or you get canceled. Because you said the N word when you were 10 years old and it was 10 years ago, you get canceled for that shit. You get banned off everything. Right? Is that not a war to you guys? It might not be physical, as I said, but is that not war? If people are telling, hey, you need to get taken and removed off the internet for saying a word, is that not war to you guys? The new war now is these anti-Semitism bills, where if you're on a college campus and you're being critical of that small nation in the Middle East, you get deported. Is that not a war? Is that not a mental war? Because what you say is a reflection of your thoughts, right? And your thoughts are mental, of course. They come in your mind. Pause. But your thoughts are in your mind. And then when your thoughts are in your mind, they eventually become your speech. You say things. Is that not a war for your mind? When they're trying to control what you say, they're trying to control your mind. You see, in physical war, your weapon is a gun, right? It's a rifle, it's a tank, it's a knife. But in a non-physical war, in a psychological and mental war, intelligence and knowledge is your weapon. And when you are paying attention to all this entertainment slop and watching IShowSpeed fucking hump the shit out of a dog, they love when you're doing that. But because that means you're defenseless. That's like you being a soldier without a weapon, no knives, no gun. You're just out there. Everybody else around you, your enemies all have rifles, guns, snipers pointed at your dumbass. You're there just frolicking in the war zone with no weapon, no nothing. You're just running around. No way to defend yourself. That's what your dumbass is like right now when you're paying attention to all this nonsense that has nothing to do with anything. When you're not even realizing the fact that your great granddad or your grandpa, who was born in the United States, when he was 18 or 20, he could already afford a home. He already wasn't living with his parents anymore. Where you're dumbass, you're looking at your situation, you're like, shit, I'm going to have to live with my parents for the next 10 years to just have enough money to move out to an apartment, let alone have a house. But you don't know that this shit is a problem because you're more concerned with who the Rams are playing, who the Eagles are about to play this weekend. Right? That's your situation. You don't know what the fuck's going on. And they love it. The left loves it. The Jays that control our government love that you don't know what the fuck's going on. And you're not questioning anything. The politicians in general love it when you don't know what the fuck's going on and you don't question anything. Because as I said earlier, guys, young men are the backbone of a society. So keeping you niggas ignorant with cheap entertainment is so important to all these evil people who wish to control you. And all these people who do not give a fuck about you. This is why you can't watch this bullshit anymore. I need you to understand every single time you watch this bullshit, you are staying stupid. You have no weapons. You're not defending yourself. You're at war and you have nothing to defend yourself with. No knives, no guns, no grenades, no nothing. No armor. You're just out there frolicking. You have nothing. And I don't understand what the fuck is the point in that. If you guys want to accomplish all your goals, if you want to live to the best of your ability, especially in the United States, you have to know what the fuck's going on. Every single time you watch this entertainment slop, you are making yourself weaker. You are making yourself dumber. You are becoming easier to control. Where there is not combat, intelligence becomes your weapon. Intelligence becomes what your enemies fear. You have to become smarter. You have to become more knowledgeable. You have to be doing more research. All that should be on your mind as a young man is money, politics, and gaining strength, both physical and mental. Money, politics, and gaining strength, both physical and mental. You should be training your mind, your consistency, your focus, your discipline, your adaptability, your will, your honor, your integrity, as well as your body. You should be in the gym. You should be working out constantly. So you have physical confidence, you have physical certainty. And then when you're not doing that, you should be researching for your goals, of course, whatever you're trying to achieve, the path that you're on currently, for whatever your ambitions are, you should be researching. And then, of course, you should be understanding and know what's going on in the world. You should be watching the news constantly. You need to replace all the entertainment bullshit with the news. You need to know what the fuck's going on in the world. You need, especially, and not even the fuck the world. You need to be aware of what's going on in America where you fucking live. As I said, you have all these enemies that are taking advantage of you right now, that are passing bills, that are silencing your speech on social media, and you don't even fucking know. On TikTok just recently, you can't post the juice emoji anymore. And that's because a J billionaire bought the app. You might not have fucking known that shit. Why? You're not paying attention. Your speech is getting controlled. You can't criticize a certain group of people. That's a problem, especially if these group of if this group of people are controlling where you live. You should be aware of this. You should know this, my nigga. You should be knowing this. You should not give a fuck about who Kai Cenat brought on his stream, nigga. You should not be worrying about that. That has nothing to fucking do with you. But what does have to fucking do with you is when niggas are controlling your speech and what you can say. Because what you say is a reflection of what you think, guys. I want you guys to pay attention. When you pay attention, when you're knowledgeable, when you are intelligent, you are lethal, you are scary, you are to be feared. In a non-combat zone, that is what's scary. Intelligence, intel. What you know, what you are saying is people are definitely scared. Your enemies are definitely scared. In a war zone, it's your military power, it's your nukes, it's your guns. In a non-combative war zone, in your country, it is your words, what you understand, your knowledge. That is what they're afraid of. And that is what will make you guys strong as young men. That's what makes you guys strong. What you know, what you're paying attention to. You understand when it comes to your goals, if you want to become successful, you have to pay attention to your goals all day. Because the more attention you pay attention, the more attention you give to your goals, the more progress you make with them. Right? So the same is true, is the more attention you are paying towards your government and your country and your society, the more you will be able to say that is wrong with your society, the more critical you'll be able to be of your society that you live in to ensure it becomes the way you want it to be, so it can serve you as a young man. You are the fucking backbone of this country, bro. I cannot stress this shit enough. You as a young man, me as a young man, we are the backbone of this shit. We are going to run this shit. We're going to grow up and run this shit. So we might as well start fucking paying attention now. You got to let go of the entertainment shit, bro. You have to let go of this shit as early as possible. As early as fucking possible. Don't wait. Don't wait till you're older, when you're not capable, when you're physically slower, when you're mentally slower, nigga. You need to start doing this shit now, when you're capable, when you have energy. There is nothing scarier than a young man who is extremely intelligent. Because everyone who is your enemy understands, if he's this smart now, if he's this capable mentally and physically now, I wonder what he'll become later. And that's scary. And you need to put that fear in their heart, because that's the only way that they behave. People only respect strength. If you're weak, nobody gives a fuck. Your kindness, I'm kind though. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about your kindness, my nigga. Nobody gives a fuck if you're, I'm a nice guy. Nobody cares. You need to be strong, powerful, and capable. Then your kindness actually matters. Your nation needs to respect you as a young man. It needs to respect your intellect. It needs to respect your capability. You might not have the experience, but you do have the fucking hunger. And then they need to respect that. You're in a mental war right now. And they've done everything in their power to make sure you don't know. The government tries to make sure you don't know. The politicians try to make sure you don't know. The Jays who control our government try to make sure you don't know. The left has tried ridiculously hard to make sure you don't know over the past 10 years with the whole woke mob, the woke ideology, shooting conservatives in the neck. They're going in and out of their way to make sure you don't know what the fuck is up and acting like, we're not doing anything. They're always doing something. You guys need to keep your eyes very, very peeled. You need to be aware. You need to let go of all the entertainment shit. You need to force yourself to pay attention to what the fuck is going on. It should just be politics, money, increasing physical and mental strength all day, every day till you die. And inherently, when you do all those things, you'll be fulfilled as a man anyway. Power and strength and capability is the only thing that fulfills us. Mission is the only thing that can fulfill us as men. Nothing else matters, niggas. Nothing else matters. Only I want a girlfriend. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. You need no fucking girlfriend. You need a mission. You need a purpose. You need work to do. You need to defend where you live. You need to defend your nation. You need to love America. You need to be patriotic. You fucking live here. You're an American citizen. You need to understand what that means. You're in the best fucking country in the world. How are you letting yourself be so fucking distracted? How are you letting them control your mind? How are you letting them do all these things behind your back and you don't give a fuck? When you're the one who's going to take the reins and grow powerful in this country. When you're supposed to lead this country in a few years as you continue to grow. Right? Intelligence is your weapon, y'all. You need to become more intelligent. You need to become more knowledgeable. You need to give up the degeneracy. You need to give up the foolishness. Or you'll die, or your nation will die. We have young men already out there fighting on the real front with the real weapons and the real guns, and the only way you can defend them is with your intelligence here. Where there's not a physical fight, but there is a mental one. So, yeah. That's really how I feel about this situation. If you guys are sending in chats, I'll respond at the end of my little spiel here, because this is just important I get this information out to you guys, you know. This shit is just, I'm telling you, like, you niggas don't understand your potential, bruh. Like, you niggas, like, bruh, you're never gonna have as much energy as you do have right now. As you get older as a man, you're only gonna lose energy. You're not like you're gonna gain energy. This is the time where all your attention should be going to become as knowledgeable as possible on politics, on the world, on what it takes to become successful and to be a winner and to improve yourself physically in the gym and train yourself mentally. You know, you don't just get to be disciplined. You don't just get to be competent. You don't just get to be focused. You don't just get to be consistent. You have to earn these things. You have to train these things. Like I always talk about all across my YouTube, you have to train these abilities. Everything worth having in life must be worked for, right? The level of power and potential you have as a young man is incredible. I'm trying to, like, it really is incredible when you really put your mind to it. When you get rid of everything that is not gaining more power in your life, your ceiling is ridiculous, right? Like, all the things that I know now at 24, I'm like genuinely impressed with myself. And yes, this is fucking self-glaze. When you do the work, you can fucking glaze yourself. But seeing this potential within myself, I'm like, every young man could be this way. And imagine if every young man is this way. The country be saved. The U.S. be saved instantly. But anyway, let me not get into a whole side part here.